Hey, pleasant good morning, Stuart. How are you today?
Very well indeed, thank you. Good morning to you, Antonio, and thank you for hosting this again. It's much appreciated.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much. So let's delve directly into our topic, how to get more views on your posts. So, Stuart, you be the LinkedIn expert. Give us some feedback on this vital topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people think, what's the point in posting? I find it quite difficult. I can't think of anything to say. Anyway, I tried it and nobody viewed it. Then I was badgered and someone said, try it again. So I tried it again and I got two or three views. I think, well, it doesn't make sense. If I look on other people's, the influencers or some people that I know on there, you look and you think, wow, they've got hundreds, thousands of views, comments. All this is going on. Why aren't I getting it? It must just be me. So they leave it. And that's a great shame because then they become part of the 99% of people on this platform that don't do anything. They're sleepers. They just go through, watch people's podcasts, read their posts, don't engage, but they think, yeah, it's quite good. I'm getting a few more numbers. I do 5 or 10 invitations a day, and hopefully I get one or two of them. And well, that's good. I'm gradually growing. I'll be at 500 soon. You think, well, okay, you need to put a bit more effort in order to get it to happen. You have to be fully optimized, which we always say, but it's important. And more so with all these new features, you really do need to spend time to make sure you've got everything on there because it has a tremendous impact. But posting is vital. If you want to be successful on here, you have to post. And you have to post regularly, consistently, not, oh, I did 5 posts today. That'll do for the month. That's just so wrong. You're better off doing 1 post a month, then building to 2 a month, then 1 a week. But make sure they mean something. The platform is changing. So it was very motivational and all that sort of thing. But now it's starting to move with adding value. So whatever you do, like your high-end sales, and that's your passion, that's your expertise. So you put things on there around sales. They don't all have to be, but the majority now. Whereas before it was just, hello, I am, and oh, this is what I did at the weekend. Oh, did you read? Oh, brilliant. Because people want to know about you, true, because they need to know, like, and trust you. But it's not just about what you did at the weekend. That is a part of it because you have to come across as a human being. But it's about your skill. What are you adding? How can you help people? What service have you got? It could be anything, but it's about balancing those variables out, really. And posts, yeah, you can do just a little short thing, but it's what it means. If you saw it, what would you think? If you see something that's full of useful stuff, we think, well, that's quite good. But if it's all condensed and tight and too many words in it, can't be bothered. And you move on. So it's about how you do your posts as well. So there's so many things involved. But the best thing to do is to, in my opinion, is to look for those that you see, wow, look at the engagement they have. Go and see why. What's it about? How have they laid their post out? What comments are they getting? If you get the sort of one-liners, great post, doesn't really do an awful lot. But if you put, that was a really good post, Antonio, thank you for sharing. I hadn't actually thought of that. And we think, oh, okay. So what Antonio said, because people just scroll through, it must have value. So they dip back in and you build things from there.
Definitely. And I would like to shout out to Nitya. Said, hi, Stuart, how are you?
Yay, very well, thank you. Thank you for showing up. It's brilliant. Appreciate it.
We have our great friend here, Andrea. She said, hi, gentlemen, looking forward to your wisdom.
Well, we'll try.
Sylvia said, good morning to you both. So, state exactly which country that you are watching from, and any questions about LinkedIn, please free to ask us. So, posting on LinkedIn is crucial, but what more interesting is your comment on other people's posts, because your comment can serve as a post and we have to take that in consideration, because once you could put a meaningful comment or comments on other person's posts, then after now, whatever field that you are in, people will watch you as a growth in that field. So you don't want to just post thank you or great share, but you want to be a bit more meaningful. We know LinkedIn is like over 800 million users that have on the platform, right? So basically, we don't might have the time to go on each person post to put a meaningful post, but try as much as possible, whether it be like 10 or 20 meaningful posts daily. That will be awesome. So some people they post once a week, some people post 3 to 5 times a week. But let's think about this for 1 second. If it is that you post 3 or 5 times per week and you do not put meaningful posts, comments on other people's posts, then after now, you are not serving your LinkedIn community. It's better you put one post out there per week, and then after you engage in other people's posts. And that way now you serve the community more. And me being into sales, it's not about selling, but it's about helping and building a community. And we should always have that in consideration. And when it is that we implement that in our LinkedIn leverage, we will see how much we can gain in terms of exposure, in terms of people reaching out to us, in terms of we feeling good inside that we are doing something great to help our community.
Absolutely. And I think as well, what you find is when people are trying to build their own community, they will go on to people's posts that have been successful. And it's a brilliant thing to do is to read the comments. And when you skim down the comments, and given there could be hundreds on some of these people's posts, you go down, this is a great share, thank you, good, blah, blah. You scroll through them. But when you see one from Antonio that says, da, 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 thank you for that, that's a really good idea, it's great, you're just saying something about it, maybe even adding some value of, I hadn't thought about that. What I normally do is this. It shows you're really engaging in it, and people will stop and they'll go, oh, hang on, Antonio said quite a bit. What did he say? They go, oh, let's check out a bit more about Antonio. So then they click on you. But if you've just done the one-liner, or the 2 or 3 words, you've missed that. They've scrolled by. So it's a way to build your network. And when you get those people into your network, you know that when they come on, and they will add value and engage. So it's better for the whole community.
Definitely. And we have this question here from Mr. Gupta. Hi, Stuart. I'm watching from India. How to grow people's engagement and reach?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, just as Antonio was saying there, you go onto other people's posts, and they say before you post, you should do at least 5 to 10 comments on somebody else's post. It tricks the algorithm to start thinking you're not just selfishly putting your stuff out, you're actually going to others and adding value. If you just put a couple of lines, it doesn't do a lot. A couple of words doesn't do a lot. But if you're adding value, as we've just said, the algo likes that. And so that helps the whole process. So when you actually do your post, it will get more engagement. Generally, there's all sorts of numbers on this, but the research says when you put a post out, it will go between 5 and 16% of your network, thereabouts. So a small percentage. But you can trigger it towards the higher bit to start with just by doing that, commenting on other people's posts. Generally before you post, but it does remember what you've done. So if you did it on Monday and you're posting on Wednesday, it will remember that you didn't post Monday, you didn't post Tuesday, you're posting Wednesday, but it remembers that you did comment on other people's.
Yeah. Mr. Gupta said here again, I usually post long comments, value addition to others. Great posts too.
Perfect. That's the way to do it, because you're complimenting somebody for putting the time in. When I do my normal post, they probably take me an hour, 2 hours, or something like that, to think how I'm going to say what I'm going to say. What are people going to think when they read it? How am I going to stop them in the feed? So what's the little hook at the top? Yes, it takes time. So if somebody's done that, rather than just scrolling, I think, oh, that's quite good, Stuart. And then going on to the next one, or going into the comments and reading some stuff and clicking on to Antonio and and sending a message to invite Antonio into their network. It's it's just better, isn't it? It's just
Hmm.
you know
And I would say also a next way how to get more views on your post is to have a group. So, like for example, how you are LinkedIn expert, Stuart, you could formulate your group, which I know you have your group already, and you input in your information about LinkedIn tips and ideas, trial and errors that you did for yourself and realize that what worked and what did not work. In that way now, in that group, people know to themselves that I could come to that group and I could gain insights about LinkedIn that would not be available to the everyday user. So would say that formulating groups is a way to showcase your skill and basically grow a community in that group, because it could start off with one follower in that group and it could end up to be 1,000 or even more.
no, absolutely. The key thing to remember for people as well is groups are fine because they're groups of like-minded individuals that are all trying to offer value and help people and that sort of thing, and sharing comments. And there's loads of groups out there that do that. There are then the things that are a pod.
Hmm.
Pod. Well, you may have heard of pods, but pods are generally things that are run by an individual. So it could be you or I, but we charge people to actually be a part of it. And it's a way to try and trick the algorithm. And it's like a bot, a robot. It's not a good thing. LinkedIn doesn't like it, will restrict you. And you could even go to LinkedIn jail or even have your profile totally deleted, which they
Hmm.
do, because it's all about authenticity. It's all, I've known you for some time now, Antonio, and we've gradually built a rapport up by supporting each other's posts and things. And, no like and trust is that phrase again, and it comes across. But you don't build that if you've got a pod, which could have, my Lord, some of them have got thousands in, but
Hmm.
they do it in a way that it's not always you, Antonio, commenting on my post. They shuffle it around, because it's like in a big company when they say, right, okay, everyone, I need you. We're just putting out a post. I need you all to go on a comment. Now, all of a sudden, everybody in the first few hours, all their 100, 1,000 employees, they're all commenting. And then the algo thinks, hang on, every time they do a post, Antonio's the first to comment. Then it's Stuart, then it's Mary, then it's the same people. Could this be a pod? So they stop that. So it's very complicated. So you've got to be very
Yeah.
careful. If you get a nice group of people, it's fine.
Okay,
I
I
have a nice
understand.
group of people that I send my posts to, and that's fine.
And what would you say about the group? You could elaborate more on the group itself rather than the pod? Like,
Say again, sorry, I missed that.
what you would say about the group rather than the pod? Like building a community, because with a
Yeah,
group, it's unlimited members that can join within your group. So you building a community.
yes, absolutely. So you have a group and you invite people into it, so that when you do your post, it just gets sent directly to them. I don't do it like that because it can be viewed as a pod potentially, but you can have a group
Oh,
of people. It's not a
yeah.
problem.
No, I don't mean a pod. Like a group as a pod. I mean like
A private group, you
you
mean?
have, yeah, a private
Oh,
group
I'm
where,
sorry.
yeah, not yeah,
Okay,
a
so
private
there's
group,
other.
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Right, so you have groups where you have when you do a share, you can share it with 1 to 100, 101
Hmm.
people, and you just send a comment out, boom, and it goes to that group. That's a group, but then you have closed community groups, if you like, where you simply share information. So anyone in that group comes in and says, Antonio, I've got an issue with this on sales. Could you help me? Stuart, I've got an issue with
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
correct. Hmm.
And we share it within that group. That's different. That sits aside. That's not about trying to
Hmm.
manufacture a growth on a post.
Correct. Yeah. So in that way now, when you have that group, others could invite their contacts, and they could be like any information or any challenges that you may face, whether it be on LinkedIn or whatever field that someone might be in. You could invite them to that group. They could ask the question, and they know where you will provide the answers to them. So
Yes.
you basically showcasing your skills in that group, and anytime that they want your services or anybody else may want your services, they will invite them to your group, or they may just let them send you a direct message and you will be able to solve their problem. So it's a great way of building a community, and
No,
it's a
you're
great
absolutely,
way of
yeah,
building leads going
yeah,
forward.
you're absolutely right. Andrew has said on here, that hopefully what you've just said now, got it. Well done, Andrew. You explained it. You explained it well, Antonio. That's the
Yeah.
difference. And there are
Uh,
some paid groups out there where you have to subscribe to because you've got big LinkedIn gurus in there. Like John Aspirian, he runs one, Espresso Plus, and you have to subscribe to that, which is a few £100s a year. But he calls himself the relentlessly helped in LinkedIn nerd. He's somebody that analyzes stuff to the nth degree.
yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
different thing. That's a different thing. Again,
So Sylvia said, elaborate a bit when you put out a post on others to reshare it.
yeah. So, gosh. Okay, so resharing is a good and easy way to get a post for yourself, to get some activity out there, but don't just reshare it. So I reshared Antonio's for today's event, and I just added a little bit of value on the top of it. So if you add a little bit of value to it, send it. That's a post. So that's good for the algorithm to do the right thing for you.
Yes. So a reshare is really awesome, because when someone reshare your post, the LinkedIn algorithm tends to send it out to more people than usual, because they realize that, hey, if this person reshare this, that means this post have to be interesting. So the
Absolutely.
more shares that you get is the more tier levels in the algorithm that you can reach, because the algorithm is tier levels, as you rightfully said, Stuart. The first tier level could be like 5 to 16% of the connections that LinkedIn will send out your
Yes.
content to. So when you reach on tier level 2, that could be maybe, let's say, 18 to 25%, and then you keep on going up to the different tier levels.
But
So
also,
if some,
Antonio, whoever has shared it, it's hitting their 5 and 16% as well as yours. So not only
yeah,
is your percentage moving up, you've
mhm,
also started 5 to 16 in somebody else's. And then if somebody else shared it within that network, it just keeps snowballing.
correct, understand. So Andrea said, but it but is it not the same group or pod? It is the same people supporting. Andrea, I would say it's not the same, because with a group is building a community, and that is your community where people more reach out to you for your services, for tips and these sorts of things. But a pod is more this engagement. So that's the difference.
Good
Um,
comment from Yinka.
Yinka said, one thing about all algorithm is that they love you when others love you. So if there is supporter, the algorithm will work in one's favor. That is why group is really needed to strive on LinkedIn. Correct, yes. If it is that you have your group, because I recently brought out my own group, which is basically want to be a content creator, and well, I'm not pushing it as much as yet, so it's like maybe about 5 followers. Eventually it will go to 100, and then it keep on going on, because I'm all about providing valuable information and on a consistent level. So yes, the algorithm, it love you when others love you, but what we have to take in consideration that this is not the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Those algorithms are totally different. This is a business community. So this algorithm will act in a different way to the other platforms. They say TikTok have the highest organic reach, which is true, because you could go viral on TikTok in an instant. But on LinkedIn, the posts that you may put out on TikTok, the video posts, it would not be for the same audience on LinkedIn. So what I try to tell people to do is to repurpose your content. Yes, you may put out a post on TikTok, but you want to put it on LinkedIn. So, like, you did some dancing moves on TikTok, Stuart, and then you want to take those dancing moves to put on LinkedIn. I'm not against anybody for doing that, but you are not serving your community, because at the end of the day, I do not want to know your dancing moves. I want to learn. I want to professionally develop myself. So you're basically fooling yourself by doing that. Yes, you could get 1,000 likes, you could get 2,000 likes, but what clients could you get out of that? What value are you providing by putting out dancing moves? That is the question that we have to ask ourselves as individuals, as people who want to professionally develop themselves.
Absolutely. And you have to think of everything that you do. What are you trying to achieve? For me, it's uh, helping people improve their profile and get a return of investment from LinkedIn. That could be through their business by selling things. It could be that they want to get another job. Now, all I'm interested in doing is, and I tend to challenge the algorithm a bit, so I do things in my way, but ultimately I monitor not by how many views I get or how many followers I have, because I have very few, 7 or 8 thousand, which is nothing when I have connections that have millions. But all I'm interested in is how many inquiries I get in and how many pieces of work I get on the back of that I can help people with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just looking for another job, it's, well, how can I perform better in my current job? How can I market myself so people find me, so that I become the obvious choice for whatever job it is that they have? That's fine, and that's what you're aiming at, and that's what it's about. It's not about numbers; they're just vanity matrix. It's about what you're getting, what's your return.
So true. Andrea said, I have read somewhere that we should post between 8 and 9 in your country. How do you feel about it? When I am in Europe and want to reach audience in America, what do I do?
Yeah, yeah. There's been lots of research on what is the best day, what is the best time to do it, and I'll happily add that into the comments once we finish, just so you can see a couple of studies on it. But it's what works for you. Now, personally, I have people and clients spread all over the world, so I've tried all the different times and the different days. For me, Tuesday to Thursday works best, and my
Correct.
prime time is 1 p.m. England time, English time, because then that hits. Antonio's just waking up. My friends the other side in India and further afield, it's towards the end of their day, but they might be at home just logging on. So that's the way it works for me. But meanwhile, midday is also lunch in the UK. So hopefully people have a bit of downtime to eat their sandwich at the desk, which you should get outside. But if you are eating a sandwich at your desk, you might just go onto your profile and just check out things. So it's experimenting, very much experimenting. But
Hmm. And I will add to it that Andrea, she want to reach audience in America. So EST time, I
yeah,
would say anytime between um 6 a.m. to about 2 p.m. Why I said that? Because I find, based on trial and error, right, that a lot of Americans, they get up very early, and by the
true.
time 2 o'clock, going on to 3 o'clock, is when they may be winding down their day, not necessarily being engaged on the LinkedIn platform.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
anytime between 6 to 2 will be awesome. But a great time of any day will be 12 o'clock. Why is that? We get a our lunch. However, you're not going to eat your food 1 hour. You may take 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And then the other minutes now will be for you now to consume as much content on LinkedIn as possible, because we on this platform for professional development. So the best way to get at these people is to always provide content that is short base. You don't want to have a video that is 2 or 3 minutes, because put yourself in someone's shoes. They will scroll past your video that is 2 to 3 minutes and go on videos that is under 1 minute, because they want to consume as much as content possible in the shortest time. So we have to take that in consideration. And then you don't want to write an article that is 5 minutes to read. You want to write an article that is maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes, because it's all about consuming all these content in the shortest possible time, because time blocking is something that is big all over the world and especially in the US. So everyone manages their time by 30 minutes for this, by an hour for this. So we have to understand that don't try to put out lengthy posts in terms of whether it be type posts, whether it be video posts, or don't try to put out 10, 15 carousels. You could put out 5 to 7 or maybe 8. And in each carousel, don't have a lot of word. Let it be directly to the point and move on to the next carousel.
Yep.
And in that way now, you will find that you will see the impressions, because with the linking, when you put on your creator mode, the new analytics that is given is impressions. And impressions is how much people basically view your content. So some content you may see that you get 500 impressions, others might be 2,000, might be 5,000. But when it is that you start to implement the short based content going forward, and you could compare the before and after impressions and see with the short base you're receiving more impressions, well then after, what it is that you are doing with trial and error, it's basically working. So it's one thing to take information from a expert in a field, but you yourself have to find within yourself to do trial and error to see which works best for you in your particular territory, because every region is different in terms of time zones, in terms of culture, and so forth.
The big thing, to picking up on that, the big thing was all about long form posts, keeping people on your post for longer. Ooh, it must be interesting. In fact, they're wading through a load of stuff. It must be interesting. So it promoted it. Now they're looking at, well, hang on, it's down to what's actually in there. And if short form posts, short form videos or reels, which are starting to come through, which are a bit sort of TikToky and whatever, but it's just, they're quick, they're to the point, they're punchy, and they're natural. And short form is now much better, as you said. I quite agree.
Definitely. Sylvia said, is it better to post about your profile, says, or anything in general that would resonate with your audience?
Yeah. Do you want me? Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. It's all about adding value, isn't it? You're trying to show you as the expert in your field. So that's what it's about. And your profile is the why you, what makes you different. There's lots of people, Sylvia, that do what you're doing, but you do it in a particular way, and you bring this extra experience to it. And it's that you're promoting. And you promote that through your comments and through your posts.
Definitely. And I always refer back to the 5 hashtags that when you put on your creator mode, they tell you what are the 5 hashtags that you speak about. So you put all these 5 hashtags, and that is basically your template as to what content to put out there. Because you can't have 5 hashtags considering personal branding, sales and marketing, linking, public speaking, and um, financial intelligence, but you speaking about engineering. So always refer back to your hashtags, and in that way, that is a template to realign you as to what is the content that you should consistently provide. So everything on LinkedIn is for a reason. Your headline is for a reason, because your headline is basically you speaking to the audience that you are looking to target, which is basically your niche market. So in that way now, when people looking on your profile, on your headline, they know exactly who you are targeting. So it's all about your positioning in yourself in a word format, exactly who you are trying to reach. And a lot of people get their headline wrong because they put MBA graduate, they put sales and marketing manager. Let's be real, no one cares if you have an MBA, because it have people who don't have a degree and making more money than you. So
Yeah.
we have to understand that these are the things that will make our profile not be optimized, and it won't be seen by many people. So Don't try to put these things because LinkedIn has told us from researching that they're not looking at your certificates anymore. They want to know what value that you could provide. That might have the content accelerator program, because once it is they see that you are serving your community, they basically want to hire you, they basically want to work with you. So we have that old fashioned thinking that certificates is the way to get us forward, when we are seeing so many people with certificates cannot even get a job. So we have to serve our community, and in that way you will see results. As they say, success is not what it is that you um, pursue. Success is what attracts you based on the valuable information that you provide, based on how you help people go forward.
Just to answer Dorothy's question here, yes, it is. It stays live, and you can watch it as a video later. It will be. I shall put it onto my profile anyway, so you can click on there and
Yeah,
just
so
watch it
it's
again.
it's basically streaming on your profile. So it should have the replay on your profile and my profile. We
Yeah,
could always double check just to confirm.
yeah. No, you can.
Um,
I keep on my profile the others we've done. For example, Antonio, they're there on one of my well, on the LinkedIn with the Edge
all right.
company profile, and you just click on the picture and watch it again.
So many questions we have to answer. We see questions coming in. So we will have to end today, and basically every fortnightly we will have this LinkedIn updates where we giving you all the tips, tricks about LinkedIn. So in closing, I would like to ask you, Stuart, what it is that you would like to leave with the audience today.
With posting, it's about being consistent and making sure that you come across as an authoritative voice in your market, and you can try and show as well that extra thing that you bring along that others just don't have, and just be happy and be positive. Whatever your dreams are, they will come true. Just keep at it.
Love it. And I would like to leave with the audience, connect with Stuart or connect with myself. We are genuine people. I have known Stuart for a while, and I know he's a very authentic gentleman, and we are all about helping. If it is that you want Stuart services or myself services, you can reach out. If not, we will still help you try to leverage LinkedIn. So please do reach out, connect with us. We are not beasts, we are friendly. We are here to serve our community, and do have a great day. It was nice for all of you all to join in and ask your questions.
And if you're free, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Definitely. So have a great one.